A warm welcome back to your latest industry recap, from Southwest announcing some pretty big changes to its route network, to an airline growing its fleet, and Malaysia Airlines cutting flights as it faces some struggles. That's where I'd like to begin, with the Malaysian flag carrier set to adjust its network to execute what it calls corrective measures across the business in the coming months after many cancellations. The significant move, which will conclude by the end of the 2024 calendar year, follows a need to prioritize the fleet's reliability and also resilience across the entire business. Disruptions to that very Malaysia Airlines business have become what is described as all too common in the last few weeks, and the group managing director believes change is required to put a halt to all of this. These operational disruptions have impacted Malaysia Airlines' customers and hurt the broader company financially and also operationally. As a result, the airline says it's now addressing the root causes of its operational difficulties, which have included manpower challenges alongside supply chain constraints, the latter something we are all too familiar with in, say, the last 2 years. Malaysia Airlines is in constant dialogue with partners and key suppliers, whether that be your aircraft or engine manufacturers, which will always be the forefront, or some of your suppliers that maybe aren't talked about as much in a public domain. This is all to address the technical issues in the most comprehensive manner possible. While the company has been widely affected and forced to cancel many flights, it should at the very least seek a little bit of comfort in knowing it's not alone in experiencing something similar. Ultimately, Malaysia Airlines joins many companies right around the world that are impacted by supply chain difficulties, aircraft availability, rising costs to operate, and more. And in a worst possible situation, you face airlines needing to slash capacity and reduce growth targets, while others have been able to manage the situation better. While a lot of these airlines can join forces in understanding that they're going through something similar, the rate at which these airlines can handle it will always vary, whether that be with funding, assets, or something else. Network capacity reductions for limited periods are typically seen as the most common means of navigating current challenges. While Malaysia Airlines targets a normal operation relaunch in early 2025, this is subject to change. Unfortunately, much will rest on the ability to discuss with suppliers what's actually impacting the airline, from engines to aircraft to other key elements. If it's deemed that these elements I touched on, among others, won't recover quick enough to reach a relaunch of, say, the full network by early 2025, well, they may then be forced to extend the network adjustments. Ultimately, really, for Malaysia Airlines to realise that a network reduction is required to navigate the turbulent period and ensure reliability is at the forefront is a step in the right direction. The company is wholeheartedly committed to understanding and also supporting its customer needs, and it will allow adjustments to bookings and encourage those affected to seek assistance. Staying within Asia and moving to STARLUX, a luxury Taiwanese company, while they're committed to future growth for not the first time by announcing plans to lease more Airbus narrowbody jets, this time from GY Aviation Lease. And this follows a report from the Taipei Times with new lease agreements as touched on for 6 new aircraft in total, with 3 units already confirmed at $67 million USD for each plane. STARLUX are excited about adding aircraft, believing it to be a huge important decision for facilitating flights to destinations across strictly Asia. Furthermore, the airline emphasizes the ability to expand its route network thanks to the addition of further A321neos, and as a result, bring that STARLUX in-flight product that has got so many people talking to more markets quicker than initially anticipated. Since the very conception of this company, they've relied heavily on the Airbus portfolio of aircraft, whether this has been sourced directly or through leasing agreements, such as this latest one I'm speaking of. Moreover, this reliance that I talk about has allowed the airline to operate with a fleet of really only next-gen aircraft. It therefore means it has one of the youngest fleets right across the industry, allowing maximum efficiency in daily flying across, you've got to remember, a host of different missions. STARLUX has been really firmly focused on expansion across, say, the last 18 months, and an agreement for 6 A321neos doesn't represent the first contract of the year. The carrier also committed to new Airbus jets earlier on, you may recall, and as part of the agreement announced, the A350F was purchased alongside a top-up deal for the already operational A330neo. Nowadays, well, the STARLUX fleet consists of the aforementioned A321neos with 13 units in service, and in terms of your wide bodies, you've got the A330-900 and the A350-900. While focus has long now rested on enhancing the overall long-haul product, the 321neos will really be pivotal for the continued development of the regional network across Asia, and no doubt we'll be closely watching how STARLUX develops in the future as a community. On to the final story, and that sits with Southwest, who have announced an expansion of their nonstop services across international and domestic markets, which really underpins a commitment to serving their customers in the best way possible. Interestingly, there's also some new developments surrounding red-eye flights, which I know you're probably keen on hearing about, considering this is part of their comprehensive initiative to become more competitive and make necessary changes to really utilize their assets to the fullest. The extended flight schedule through April 7 aims to offer customers greater connectivity, and on March 8th, Southwest will launch service from Nashville to Los Cabos International Airport, and Sacramento will also head down south. New routes will commence therefore in early 2025. They'll only be operated on Saturdays, but are part of expansion efforts through to warm weather and therefore popular international destinations. However, this expansion I speak of will not strictly stop at international markets. We're going to see new non-stop service on a domestic front commencing from March the 6th of next year as well. Austin to Milwaukee will commence with weekday flights to be offered, with Reno from Austin also commencing. These flights will operate less than daily. Nashville to Indianapolis will operate daily, while we'll also see a fresh new route from Sacramento to Tucson in Arizona operating weekdays. One of the bigger changes is Southwest set to actually cater their services to the busy upcoming football season. The airline says that for college and any professional games, it's boosting its network in the coming months to meet demand between key markets. For example, Dallas will see flight increases on November 9 in time for a scheduled game, and this will continue throughout that month, with markets such as Chicago, Los Angeles, Cleveland, Omaha, among others, getting more services on specific days to transport more people to and from these games. Another big avenue of focus, as I promised, is the commencement of red-eye flights from February 2024, with therefore 24/7 operations available, and from March the 6th, we'll now see 3 more locations to get red-eye flying. That's Denver, San Diego, and Sacramento. These 3 cities will complement Las Vegas, Los Angeles, and Phoenix, which were the 3 cities that were originally listed as debuting first for that red-eye flying. That'll conclude today's aviation news recap. Any thoughts, you can let me know down below in the comments. Thanks a lot for your support. Take care, be safe, and I'll see you tomorrow. And we'll fly.